Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video. I'm going to talk about a newly shown Iron Studios product. Out of all of these products they did show at their convention for Endgame, this is actually the one that I've been most looking forward to going on pre-order. I'm a big Villains fan, and this was kind of a Villains piece that was really interesting. It will be, I think, the first Outrider figure. It's not a Lego, because I'm trying to think, and obviously Hot Toys made one but never released it. Marvel Legends has yet to make any, and I've never seen another statue of an Outrider figure. So this, I think, is going to be like the first real Outrider piece of merchandise, which I think is really cool. I do really enjoy the Outriders. They were nothing special in Endgame, in my opinion, but in Infinity War, I really loved them. They were extremely vicious, and they were a great way to kind of up the ante from what we've seen before with like the Jatari, to having a more animalistic, kind of unstoppable, just barrage of them that will just like kill themselves trying to get in. I thought was really cool, and is one of my favorite sequences in the film. So overall, when I saw this statue, I was really impressed, and quite looking forward to actually getting it on pre-order. And we finally have it on pre-order. So let's talk about it. First of all, here we have some like environment kind of setting scenes. You can, have them pose with some of the other Avengers figures, which is cool. I think that if you get like a lot of the Avengers figures, having an Outrider statue would be nice just for pictures while taking pictures of the other ones. You can always have an Outrider in the background or foreground, just to give the other statue a bit more of a scene that they're going for. But as you can see, I think that he does look really nice here. This is an Outrider General. The way that you know the Generals is that they have those little things that stick out of their heads, to giving them almost like a hammerhead type of look, as well as they have an extra set of arms. The regular ones just have 4 arms. Generals have 6 arms. So I am very happy that they went with a general and not a standard one, just because the generals, I think, just have a much cooler design in general. Haha. But overall, I do think that he does look nice. His base itself is good. I like the fact that it's like a Rebel style base, and it does have like an Avengers logo on it. Out of all the characters that can have like an Avengers logo on their base, I wouldn't expect it to be an Outrider to have one. I know Iron Man also has one, but I'm just like, they're obviously not going to do it on every base. So why, when they're picking like a few people to give an Avengers logo to, why give it to the Outrider? I'm not sure, but nonetheless, I do think it's nice. I like the stepping forward kind of pose. It is quite vicious, and just overall, I think that it does look very cool. I do like how his arms are extended and how he's very aggressively like lunging forward and screaming. I think it looks very cool. I have heard complaints it's a little too simple in as far as it's very clean. Like, there's obviously some nice line work on it, however the actual skin texture is very smooth, which when I look at like concept art, it does absolutely look like that. But I rewatched Infinity War even just last night, and I was particularly paying attention to the Outriders, and they do seem to have a lot more texture to them. They seem to be a little bit more rough. I will say that like 90% of the Outriders that they show in that Wakandan battle are heavily like damaged. Like, I mean, like damaged in gross ways, like their skin's ripping up and stuff like that, just because they're burning themselves to get inside the shield. So like they're really like disgusting looking, which gives them some extra texture. This one's very clean. I think that this was a smart general who stayed back and waited until the shield was open before he tried to run in. So this one's very clean. It would have been cool if he had all that damage, just because like really, like I don't know if they just had like a few files and they just thought the damage looked cooler, so they use like all the files for the Outriders with the damage. But like every Outrider in that final battle is like they practically kill themselves to get into the shield, so they have a lot of damage on them, and their damage, like their skin and muscles, like pink, so there's a lot of pink on them, which this one obviously doesn't have at all. It would have been kind of cool if they did go with that, I will say, but nonetheless, it's not like a necessary thing. So I understand it. Some of the more simplified designing aspects of it might be because it's not as ripped up as a lot of the Outriders were in the actual film. So you can get a better look at the kind of positioning of the lunge forward. I do think it looks very cool. From the back, there's a lot of detail. I love that detail on the spine. I've never really seen a good look at an Outrider from the back, and the spine looks really neat. I like that kind of silver spine that it's got going on. It looks very cool. Just the line work in general is really nice. Again, it could use a little bit more texture, I think, but overall, I'm okay with the more a clean look of it. Having just like a fully damaged one would be really cool, but the clean look actually does look nice as well. There's a better image of that back piece with the spine and everything, and it does look quite nice. In a shot like this, you can kind of see like a little bit more of some texturing maybe on the shoulders there. So there might be like close-up detail that's a little bit unseen from some of these images. But yeah, overall, I really do like the position of it, and the actual sculpt itself I think is quite nice. The face sculpt looks very cool. I like the vicious approach of it, and the kind of blood red mouth looks really nice. It would be really cool if they did some more of these, to be honest. Like, I'd love kind of a little mini series of just kind of the armies from the Marvel movies. So Jatari would obviously be the next ones that I'd love to see, and getting you could do Sakaar, you could do the Dark Elves. There's just a lot of ones that you can do. 3 of those were even in Endgame, so they can have it in the Endgame line. But nonetheless, I do think that this is a really a neat choice. Like, it's something I don't think it's going to sell well, to be honest, but I really like it personally. I think that it does look quite nice. Getting some of the specs of the piece. It's about 3.3 pounds, and I will do a little bit of comparison here between some of the other statues just as far as what you get for this figure, but it's about 11.5 inches tall, which is quite a nice height. Obviously, the Outrider's a little bit bigger than your average like human character, so that's why he has some nice bulk to him and some nice height. Overall, this piece retails for $100. That's how much Iron Studios is selling it for, which I think is very reasonable. When you even compare him to like the Winter Soldier, Bucky, that was the previous statue to go on pre-order. That statue is about 8.5 inches tall, so you're looking at about 3 inches less, and it's about a pound less heavy. This one is like a third heavier than the Winter Soldier statue, so you get a lot more bulk wise, and just what you're paying for, you get a lot more. And Bucky was $100 as well. So both statues are the same price, but you just get more with the Outrider. Obviously, the thing that I assume that the reason that they priced him, so well, comparatively speaking, is that the Winter Soldier obviously has like a face sculpt. This one, it's not, like they're sculpting humans, probably a lot easier for them to do. And character-wise, obviously something that's not super desired, I think. So I think that's why it's priced so well. But overall, it's a really good deal. I think Iron Studios is extremely fair with their pricing. I've gotten so used to Hot Toys and just being disappointed with the price like every time, that Iron Studios is just like, I'm like, oh, I could see it going up to this, and then they always come under what I'm expecting. I'm like, oh, that's surprising. I didn't know companies did that, so I'm actually really happy about the price on this. Like, if this was coming out today, I would buy it, no problem. My only concern is this doesn't come out until the end of the year, so we're looking at like I think it was like October to December, or November to January, something like that is the release date on this. And I worry that like at the time I'll think to myself, oh, do I really need an Outrider statue, because Endgame's kind of long gone. But like nowadays, obviously with Infinity War last year, I would still like this Outrider statue, so I think I'll probably still want it at the end of the year. But nonetheless, this looks great, so I probably will get this. I think it'll just be a nice addition to the collection, and obviously if you're an army builder, you could get a couple of these and make for a very cool scene. It would be really cool if they did like a normal Outrider, just so that you can have a couple different ones to display with some of your Avengers statues as well. That would be cool. But yeah, nonetheless, I really love this statue. I think it's very cool, and I think that it's just awesome that we're getting an Outrider statue from them. Can't wait to see some of their other products, especially some of the other villains that they haven't revealed yet, but they've announced, such as the rest of the Black Order and then Red Skull. Really excited to see that one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this new statue from Iron Studios being the Outrider figure, and thanks so much for watching.